intonation that you okay, thank you, that you use, especially your voice is like you have like deep voice, so when you just uh you need to like give like dynamic intonation to differentiate between like you grade students and also you give feedback, and also you emphasize what important parts that you would like to emphasize it. So because you have like deep voice, so you need in the future you need to like give dynamic intonation, I think, and also for your voice tone, I think. Itu sih, Bu. Thank you, Tan, you did a great job.
Thank you, Dimas. Well, probably Tania was just nervous, right, Tan? Because of the connection, how to maintain the connection, I don't know. Probably because you were in the dorm, right, at that time?
Yes, Ibu. I'm in dorm.
Yeah, yeah. Because, and in another occasion, in another session, when you joined Amel's micro teaching, you were not in the dorm, right? You were outside your room.
Actually, I'm also at dorm, Bu, but
Oh
maybe
yeah.
because after I do micro teaching for OPs, because I was her student also. Maybe that's also one of the reason.
Yeah. Okay, okay. Okay then. Well, but basically when the center of attention is you as the teacher, then the pressure will be even much bigger, right? Okay, we could see that, but that is very natural. Okay. Okay, next. Thank you, Dimas, for the feedback. And for from group 3, for Tania, please.
Ibu,
Yes.
I will give feedback to Tania. This is already a very good micro teaching, ya Tan. I can see that you greet the students before the class, reminding about classroom procedures. Also have a clear agenda for both asynchronous and synchronous, ya. Wait, let me see my note. And I can see that you have a clear learning goals and understanding as well. And you also mentioned about the previous week material, ya, Bon. Yeah. And there is also students participation gitu to explain the story that they have chosen. Yeah, you also check your students background knowledge about the narrative text, and then I can see that the student also explain about the narrative text structure, characters, plot based on the video that you have shown to them. And the assignment and rubric is also clear, yeah, and there is also a summary at the end of the lesson. My feedback maybe for the parts after Olin share her chosen story, yeah, I think it would be better to avoid using "oh my god" in your presentation. Ya, tapi mungkin itu slip out ya, nggak apa-apa sih, oke. Okay. And also because this is a PSL grammar class ya, Bon. At first I thought you are going to elaborate on the action verb and thinking verb, but I think the PSL grammar classnya, grammarnya nggak terlalu subtle in your lesson, but overall this is a very good MT though. I think that's all that I can give ya.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Tanya is taking notes very seriously. I would like to point that out as well, actually, yeah, the last word from Erin. Yeah. Okay, so the last one, yeah, Tan, before I will give you an overall feedback. 1% Ichil. Yeah, 1%, your insight for Tanya's micro teaching?
Hello, Bu, is it me?
Yes, Ichil.
Okay, sorry, Bu, because your voice is so low here.
Oh, okay. Yes, Ichil.
Okay, so for Tania, am I audible, Bu? Okay, so for Tania, thank you so much for showing us the way you teach your students. One thing that I highlight is that your material your PPT is clear. You don't put too much words there. It's more like you explain it orally without putting too much words and sentences, because it might confuse the students. It might make them bored or not focused. So that's it from me. Good job, Tania.
Okay, thank you, Ichil. So the use of less words on PowerPoint slides, that will actually be a strategy for a teacher to be more content, be more expert in the content that you're delivering to your students. Yeah, and that would be another challenge for you all whenever you teach your students in this virtual platform. Yeah, because too much words on the screen will make the students like not to get to engage probably. Yeah, and not too interested in listening to your explanations further. Okay, yeah, so now from me, Tania. Well, what I would like to point out was similar to what Erin also mentioned. Yeah. So this is PSL grammar then. Yeah, I mean narrative text, moral values. Yes, for sure. And during understanding how we could, we need to see God's story within each one of folktale or stories that we read. Yes, that is good. Yeah, but point out more on the grammar focus that you would like to emphasize would be much relevant for this PSL grammar. Okay, yeah, rather than talking about general structure, elements, da 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 da. Okay, that would be included for PSL writing then, right? Yeah. So based on this, based on the feedback from your friend and me, I would challenge you to see again what is it actually that you would like to emphasize while you're asking your students to analyze the moral, to analyze the generic structure and choose the specific parts of the generic structure probably, or even to the elements, how they could present their analysis concerning about those elements related in the story, yeah, using the proper tenses, the proper sentences. Okay, yeah, Tanya. And then when I watch your micro teaching as well, I could find that in spite of on also the the technical problems, yeah, because when I watch your micro teaching video, your micro teaching video was the, I don't know, the heaviest. So it kept on downloading or running around. I mean, the mouse? Yeah, the mouse that I had here. It kept on running around. So I didn't really follow what you said, but I'll try to watch it again through my handphone. I mean, via my phone. Okay. Hopefully, I can get clearer flow that you use. Okay. Was it? Were there any parts when you asked your students to share about what they have learned throughout the learning process, the learning process that they have had with you? It's near at the end of the lesson, right? Yeah, and I heard that Olin also mentioned that she learned that every story is different, and every story also shares the moral value, which can bring us or can open our eyes to see God's greatness, God's mercy, God's greatness throughout the stories in folktale or any stories that we learned, that we read or we listened to. Was it right, Olin? Did you say like that, Olin? Yes.
Yes.
Now that's exactly what I would like to point it out, that is related to what Erin said. Okay, so the more you could find the grammar points that you would like to emphasize, then the students would also see that, okay, from this big grand narrative, always need to lead to grand narrative, yeah. So from this big narrative text discussions, so I would love to see the grammar points so that the students will not only see, okay, from every story that we read or we listen to, there are always moral values that we can learn from. Okay, yeah, Tania, I think you got that point. Okay, any comments from Tania? Hello, Tan. Any comments from you based on?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
I think related to the heavy video, I think because it's about the quality
Oh,
of the video itself. That's why it's heavy. And maybe for your feedback related to the what Erin also has shared, I think I need to fix it again. I mean, talking about the focus, because yeah, after I realized that maybe I just focus about the narrative text itself, just yeah, action and thinking verb. It's just I just stated in the classroom. Maybe yeah, I think I missed that part. Thank you.
okay, okay. Good job, but you have done your best in the midst of that circumstance where you need to maintain your the stability of your connection in the dorm. Yeah, Tania, yeah. But in the near future, I mean, in your real classroom practice, then you would need to see your plan. I mean, your design, your lesson plan from above, using the helicopter view first, and then make sure that everything is suitable with the expected criteria or skills that you would like to improve from your students. Okay? Yeah. Okay, now we will move on to Amel dulu lah ya, Amel ya. Okay, from Amel, group 3. Any representative of the student?
Yeah, me.
Yes.
Okay, for Amel, wait, let me see my notes first, boo.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have summarized our feedbacks for Amel. First of all, the activities are so structured and they're all so engaging, so the students could like engage maximally from the breakout rooms and then from the questions that Amel always asks during the lesson. And then the what yeah the activities and the enduring understanding, the BCW and all of that are always being put in the right timing gitu loh. Jadi they are not messy, they are not like like not messy at all. So they are very structured and the right timing, and we really like that from Amel. And then Amel also talk about the grammar side from this lesson. Like she asked about the past tense, and then she asked about adverb of time, and then stuff like that. So the language feature of the narrative text are being taught here, and that's very important. And then our feedback from for Amel is that she sounded very nervous. She quite stuttered a lot, yeah, and then she quiet did a lot of pausing. So after she talked and then she paused for a minute and then she talked again. Yeah, maybe next time don't feel very nervous. Yeah, Amel. And then the last one is we in the learning goals, Amel didn't really show the expectation of her to the students by putting the degree, like for example properly or something like that. So the expectation is kind of still blurry to us. So yeah, that's all from us. Thank you, Amel. Very good job.
Yeah, thank you, Anna. Yeah, before I forget, yeah, let me just jump into or continue what Nana just mentioned, yeah, so that I will not forget. Uh, about the about the learning goals. I believe that Amel, you have taken notes over semester after semesters, PSL class after another PSL class. I'm sure because you're a kind of person who who paid attention on details, right? I believe so. Okay, hopefully it's true. So based on what you have taken notes all this time, I think what Nana just mentioned when you state or when you explained to your students about the learning goals, the goals that you and your students would like to achieve on that day, uh, you just mentioned the activities, right? Okay, I mean the expected competencies. Yes, you mentioned it. Okay, so. Like for example, at the end of the lesson or today's lesson, you're expected or you're going to be able to analyze the content of a folktale or whatever it is. Yeah. Yes, you mentioned those expectations. Yeah, but your expected criteria. So the competencies, yes, you mentioned it. So your students know, okay, also these are the activities that I will get involved in, that I need to be participated in, right? But you didn't mention the criteria that you expected your students to achieve. For example, okay, analyze the story or analyze the moral values within the story, for example, and how you would expect your students to analyze the moral values. Because I assume that that was the point. That was the point that you would like your students to analyze in your lesson plan, right? Yes or no, Amel? It was the moral value, right? Not the general
Yes,
structure, not the elements, right? Yes.
yes,
Okay. Yes. Now, so what did you expect your students to be able to meet with your expected criteria that you have set on your rubric whenever they analyze the moral value of the story that they read? Okay, whether you expect them to be able to analyze the moral values according to the biblical values, for example, according to, okay, so that would be the degree, or could be also you would expect your students to be able to analyze not the whole moral values, but you only depict only parts of the moral values, overall moral values from the story, and you only zoom in into the character, for example. So the character's choice. So analyze the character's choice only, okay? But the students are expected to use the proper tense when they need to express their analysis toward the character's choices of actions, for example, in relation to the elements in folktale, for example. Okay, Amel, did you get my point? Yeah, okay.
yes, Bu.
Yeah. But what about how about the structure? How you structure your lesson? I agree with what Nana just mentioned, that your progress is very. I mean, I can see the progress of how you manage your class, how you structure your lessons very well. Okay, you improve a lot, I think, from back then. I mean, from the previous PSAL, yeah. But you're being nervous, yes. It's we could still see that. Okay, but the more you teach, the more you interact with your students, I'm sure that you'll feel more confident later on. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, Bu. Thank you, Bu.
Yeah, thank you, Nat. Thank you, Amel. Okay, one more from group one. Group two. For Amel, Milka or Olin?
Milka, Ibu.
Halo, Bu.
You have decided. You have chosen. Okay. Yes, Milka. We
Halo,
can
Bu.
hear you. Yes.
Actually, my feedback is kind of same with you, Siana, and apa and Anna. Maybe I can share it's what I get from Amel micro teaching towards like this is my input. So I think from Amel I can learn that she prepared well, and also she gave a it's a well prepared and well structured micro teaching. I really like because this is like this is PSIL grammar, and we can see it from Amel presentation, from Amel class. I mean, like there is an interactive activity, like when you tell your student to use the annotate in your annotate and choose what they in the ini and the tax. So I think that is pretty much good for for your students, so they may engage with the lesson you taught. And maybe my input is I don't think it's kind of maybe the pace when Amel talking. I think that's also, I don't think it's nervous, but maybe because Amel talk in rush, and because of the mask also, so she sounded like that. That is my input, Ibu.
Oh yeah, you have a backup, Amel. Your best friend backup. Okay, yeah, probably it's because Amel needs to catch up her breath, yeah, within the mask. Yeah, could be. Okay, let's go to Opi, yeah. But before that, because we are running out of time, we only have like 7 minutes left before the Zoom stopped. Amel, do you want to say something, comment on your friend's feedback?
Oh yeah. First of all, maybe I would like to say thank you for the feedback, for the constructive feedback from group 3 and also group 2 and Bu Shane also. And I realized that yeah, that was my mistakes. Yeah. For number 1 is I don't pay attention to the grading goals that I put on my PPT also. And when I explain to my students, it's not too clear. It was blurry, like what Anna mentioned before, and that's like the lesson that I have to learn later on when I teach students. Maybe I have to put it more detail. Yeah. So everyone
Well,
can understand. Huh?
well,
Yes.
you don't have to put everything on the slide as I
Uh,
mentioned earlier, but you could explain, elaborate it orally, right?
um.
Yeah, you can
Yes.
explain it orally on
Yeah.
it.
Bu.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. But thank you, Bu.
Okay, thank
That's
you.
all.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Keep on improving because you can do it. Yeah, Amel? Okay. Next, it's going to be on Optics micro teaching. I would like to ask, not from group 2, group 3, I would like to ask from Fanny. Fanny, can you share your insight? Or should I choose another person? I forgot Fanny's situation. Nggak jadi rejoin. Nggak jadi, Opi, because we still have time. Okay, Maris then. Maris, yuk Maris. If Fanny's condition, probably it's not too stable. The connection is not too stable. Maris?
Halo Ibu.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Yes, so for OP's micro teaching, I could say that I didn't really take like for a certain comment, because I just watch it and I enjoy it. I think that nothing that I really have to give feedback, because OP did a good micro teaching. That's right, OP. Do you think so, OP? Yeah, because yes, of
Thank
course,
you,
right?
Mercy.
Gimana sih? Suaramu tiba-tiba gede banget.
Yeah, she
Oh,
said,
yes. So
of
yeah,
course.
Yeah, of
oh,
course,
okay.
Matters. Thank you, ya.
Yeah, I could say
Constructive,
that I also
constructive
enjoy that
feedback,
micro
Maris.
teaching.
Maris, constructive feedback. Constructive feedback.
Okay. I think everything is okay. Also the PPT, also the interaction that she built with the students. All the students participate actively. She asked the students to read what is the sentence in the screen. It also helps the teachers to be more active, to pay attention to what the students to what the teachers give them the instruction. I think it's also a good strategy. That's all from me, Bu.
Oke, one more student. Thank you ya Maris. No need to comment ya, Opi ya. Opi sudah komen tadi, gede banget suaranya. Of course. Oke, next from Iren. Yuk Iren. Yes, of course. Yes, Fanny. You can use the chat box, of course. I just wrote down there. Yuk, Iren.
Okay. Okay. I have a little bit comment on the learning goals on Office micro teaching. It's good that you give expectation to the students, but I think you don't have to write down like students will be able to like in the lesson plan. Maybe you can just tell them what you want them to do that day, but don't put all the sentence that you brought down inside your lesson plan. Okay.
itu akan
And
mengkamiri adonan gitu ya, adonan yang sudah of course tadi udah wah there is no feedback, there is no comment Bu from me gitu ya, itu akan mengkamiri adonan itu ya Opi. Yes. Okay. Opi can also read Fanny's comments ya in the chat box. Okay, now it's from me ya Opi, because we have only 2 more minutes left. So I would like to jump into the topic, the grammar topic that you chose, indirect and direct speech. And in relation to that, what you have explained to the students about the enduring understanding, which more focuses on how we could see God's story within stories that we listen to, folktale that we read, right? Yeah. So how could direct and direct speech actually related? How could that be related to the biblical values that you try to integrate? That would be my question that you will be able to answer later on through chat personally or in our WA group, because we have only less than 1 minute. So if the Zoom stops, so Opi will continue chatting with me and share with others as well if you would in our WA group. Oke, Opi. So direct indirect itu apa hubungannya dengan si grand narrative tadi, si God story within our story or even folktale or any stories. Okay, that will direct you later on to see or to show your students that this is why the students need to pay attention whenever they interact with others using indirect and direct. What would be